There is a quote I keep coming back to, one that Brené Brown cherishes from Theodore Roosevelt. It goes, "It is not the critic who counts, but the one who is actually in the arena." Sitting in that room at the Women in Data conference, I felt it. The fire, the energy, the unspoken agreement between everyone there. We are in the arena, bruised, hopeful, persistent. We are not waiting for change. We are becoming the change. And I made a personal commitment that day to stay in the arena, to use my voice. And since this podcast is a podcast of voices, I'm dedicating this episode to all the women who have made that same commitment, the ones who are showing up, speaking up, and shifting the dial. One question, one challenge, one data set at a time. And yet, as much as we're stepping forward, the systems we interact with daily are still lagging behind, especially when it comes to AI. Here is a number that made my stomach drop. Women make up 51% of the global population, but account for only 2% of biomedical research. Let that sit. And then think about this. Endometriosis takes an average of 9 years to diagnose. Lupus disproportionality affects women of color during their working years, but barely makes it into mainstream medical papers. 1 in 10 women leaves the workforce because of chronic pain or unaddressed women's health issues. That's not just a gap. That's a chasm. We are not missing from the data. We were never included. At the conference, we saw some hopeful signals. Basket analysis of menstrual product buyers showed that 27% also buy pain relief medications. But among lower income buyers, that number drops by a third. AI can surface these trends. It can quantify the invisible. But unless someone asks the right questions, the system just keeps learning without understanding. That's why it matters who's in the room. That's why representation in data science isn't a checkbox, it's a responsibility. According to the World Economic Forum, if we continue at the current pace, we won't reach global gender equity until the year 2158. But here's the thing. If AI continues to be developed without accountability, it could increase the bias against women, rather than reduce it. The systems we're building today could lock in exclusion instead of opening new paths to equity. Yet, if we start asking the right questions now, if we build with inclusivity at the core, we may be able to close the gap much faster. This isn't just a projection. It's a warning and also a call to action. That's 5 generations from now, 5 generations of missed opportunities, undervalued contributions, and systems that don't reflect the world as it truly is. As a mother, that year, 2158, weighs heavily on me. I think about my daughter, her future, her career, her rights. I cannot accept that equity might not be realized until long after her lifetime. We have a moral responsibility, not just as technologists or citizens, but as humans, to close the gap sooner, to create systems that see her, support her, and celebrate her. It was also shared that every 40 seconds a woman is abused. I believe this number was presenting England and Wales. Only 24% of those cases are reported, and 1/4 of women experience partner abuse in their lifetime. If those numbers don't shake us into action, I don't know what will. Considering that it's a developed country, what is happening in the underdeveloped countries? Because when we talk about data and ethics, it's not just about innovation, it's about protection, it's about justice. Data should be a mirror, yes, but also a megaphone. We live in a world where today's AI is the worst it will ever be. That means we have an opportunity right now to shape it before it shapes us. As I left the Women in Data conference, I didn't feel overwhelmed. I felt ready because the room was full of women in the arena. Not perfect, not polished, but powerful. If we all take small actions, speak up, design with care, question the defaults, we can shift the dial. We can demand better data, and we can create technologies that don't just serve the majority, but see the margins too. This isn't just about women in data. This is about all of us. Because the future isn't something we inherit. It's something we build. Thank you for listening to Expectations Gap. If this resonated with you in any way, please share it. Start a conversation. Step into your spotlight. And I'll see you in the next episode. Until then, let's shape the future of AI together.